Okay, this is Doug Stout. I'm here with Gary Wimer. He wants to talk about is your dad was in the service. He was Richard Dean Wimer, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. And then, where was he born?
He was born in actually Auburn, Indiana.
Okay. And he was in Korea?
Actually, his final duty station overseas was New Guinea.
Okay. Well, when did he go in the service and that?
Well, he actually entered service in March of '43.
Okay.
That was his basic training entry into, of course, Fort Hays in Columbus. That was just the orientation station. And then he was assigned to his first base for basic training, which was Camp Walters.
Okay. Was he drafted or did he enlist then?
Drafted.
Drafted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drafted.
All right. So he went in and he went through camp, and then where did they ship him?
Well, after Camp Walters, looks like he went to Camp Lewis. If I'm saying it right,
You're saying as good as I can.
Yeah, I mean California, Abisko,
Yeah.
and he was there until, according to the service record, July of '43. Then he went to Hawaii for some advanced training.
Okay.
So he was in Hawaii from around July of '43 for almost a whole year. Then he left Hawaii in June of '44 for New Guinea.
Okay.
And without me reading, his story goes from there. He said, son, I got over there in New Guinea with the infantry group, and we got off the LST and went ashore. And they said, okay, all the medics, please step forward. We need you to come to this area. He said, son, nobody stepped forward. He said, well, we need medics. He said, if we don't have any medics, then we're going to have to appoint you medics right now. Count off 1 through 8. 1 through 8. So every 8th number was a medic, and Dad was number 8. He said, and then he said it got about 6 of them together, and they said gave us some very basic training on how to just go to the front lines, and here's your pistol, and just try to relieve the pain and the suffering with morphine.
Wow.
And I could tell that really bothered Dad as he talked about that, because he said, I had no idea. He said, I was just a common guy who maybe put a Band-Aid on, a peroxide back then and washed something out, but I know how to treat these wounds. He said, and we saw some tremendous casualties. He said, some guys we couldn't even save. We just tried to give them enough of this morphine, and we give them morphine. I don't know how they gave it, Doug. Was it with a shot or with oral medication?
I think, from what I've seen, I think it was like a little vial shot thing.
Shot.
They just pushed it into him just to try to, like you said, just keep the pain down.
Pain down. Yeah, he said all the time. He said it was. He said no. In New Guinea, to be real truthful, wasn't like an Okinawa or anything.
Right.
But he said it was occupied by Japanese. He said, but we had a lot of friendly faces there with the Australians and the New Zealanders. He said they were good people to work with. He said they were sharp, very disciplined. And then he said the local tribesmen were helpful also, very helpful. He said because they were being tortured by the Japanese. So they sided with us. We just gave them some candy and cigarettes, and they did what we asked them to do. So they almost like deputized him
Right.
to help out.
So he had like a year training on something that he basically didn't use because from then on he was a medic.
Yeah, exactly right. I guess a lot of infantry firing over there in Hawaii, and just a lot of drilling and looking at the island. And they studied the island the way they do now. So things have changed a little bit through technology, but they had maps, and this is where you're going to go, and this is what you need to do, and this is one part of the island, and we need to take the whole island as we keep moving closer to Japan.
So even after, a period of time came, they just kept him a medic. They never moved, never got a real medic in or anything. They just, every 8th guy was a medic.
Exactly right. Yeah. Then they would bring, fresh troops in, but no medics. He said they never brought any medics in, whether it was a short supply or they needed them for something else. He never really knew, never really explained, or never really talked about it. It was there from, what the record says here, 44. So, that war went on. So he was there from 44, then a little over a year, and then he did take some shrapnel.
Okay.
And he got wounded, not severely at all, and also got something that was very common called jungle rot, he called it. And that was just because of the conditions over there, because of the wet swampiness,
Right.
and then not the right shoes and stuff. So he left there actually before the war ended in September of 45.
Okay.
And he went back to Camp Atterbury for medical reasons. And there's just so much in between, but we won't talk about that. But he was discharged then actually in January of 46. He was married the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So who put all that together? Did you put it together?
His
Did he
mom.
put it together?
This
Okay.
is his mom. And then, of course, gosh darn, he got married in March of 43, right before he married Mom, right before he went overseas, or before he went in. Got drafted, so he had no choice.
Was she from there, or was she from here? Or?
Mom was from Johnstown.
Okay.
And they met at this place called Ferris Tire and Rubber.
Okay.
They were worked together.
Right down the street here.
Yeah, right down the street here.
Yeah.
And that's where they met at. And
So he came here looking. Did he come here looking for work, or?
his dad moved him from Indiana. There wasn't a lot of work there, and they came down through Indiana through Lima, and Grandpa worked there for a while, and then decided to come on down to Newark to find a little bit better work, and he opened up his own business called Wimer's TV and Appliances.
Okay.
Right over here on Granville
Yeah.
Road. That was my grandpa's
Where
business.
Oh, I can remember that vaguely. Where was it on Granville? Was it right by the overpass?
Yes, exactly right.
Okay.
The
good.
building is still
My-
there.
My memory's not too bad then. Okay.
Yes, that's where it's at. They stayed there from when Grandpa opened that business up to 58 till 63, and they moved out to Heath.
Okay.
And right there, corner of Hebron Road and 79, where the Duke station is now,
Okay.
BP.
Yeah.
They stayed there for a while until they decided to.
Did your dad go into that with him?
Yeah,
The TV.
yeah.
It was
Dad
good
went-
business at the time.
It was a good business at the time, and then like a lot of businesses, they were overwhelmed by when Sears came to town,
Right.
and then Sun TV came to town, and so they hung in there as long as they could. They would try to diversify with motorcycles, a lot of motorcycles, travel trailers, and stuff like that. So that was Dad's work. He had a little stop when he came home. I worked at Owens Corning, like a lot of the guys did in
Right.
46. He got there for about 2 years, and his dad said, "Why don't you come and join us in the business?" Dad truly enjoyed being a salesman, selling appliances
Did
and
he?
stuff. Yeah.
So he got a Purple Heart for the shrapnel, I assume?
He didn't.
Okay.
And Mom always said that she should have applied, but never applied. He never got the Purple Heart, And again, I don't know why not. And the application process, I've tried to, check on that, but there a huge fire happened in St. Louis. A lot of
Right.
records were destroyed, and I can't quite get through to that. I just have what I have here. He did get a bronze medal for that work there in New Guinea.
Okay. For a specific thing, or just for this whole service?
Bronze Star is for go over and above the normal call of duty.
Okay.
Don't know specifically. I didn't see any kind of a write up with it.
Right.
But just just for probably being a medic and helping out like that. Nothing really too heroic, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah.
But the shrapnel wound didn't affect him later on? Or
No.
How about the jungle rot?
Yeah,
Did
that
it?
really affected him later on. I mean, his feet were, gosh, they were just so calloused and dry and itchy most all the time I knew him until he died at age 82.
So that wasn't something that went away?
Never went away. Never went away. Yeah, the shrapnel was, he'd pull up his you could just see some dark stuff in there, and he said it was just like, must have been like an explosion, and he just got the little aftermath of it like that. So maybe that's why. Maybe there wasn't a lot of bloodshed, who knows. But Mom said she wished she would have applied for it, but things were happening so quick there. But he talked a little bit about it, especially in later years, a lot about things. And of course, when I went in the service, then we would compare notes and stuff, and he'd always say how easy I had it compared to what he had it. Well, there's no doubt I did compared to what he did. And we'd come home from leave, and we could take our uniforms off. And they came home from leave, they had to leave their uniforms on.
Oh, really?
According to my father, yeah, you had to leave your uniform on if you came home for leave. If you went out, took your wife out to dinner, the uniform had to be on.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and I didn't either. Whereas we came home, you just put everything aside and let your hair down and enjoyed yourself
Right.
for a week or two or whatever, like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but this is a neat book, and just a lot of reading through here. And I've read some of it, but then you can just see little scratch marks and stuff. Then my mom adds a little bit like that. But his mom, my grandma, all three boys were in the service.
Okay.
Yeah, his brother Jack was in the Navy, World War II. His younger brother Bobby was Korean Army veteran. So, but my grandfather wasn't. Their dad wasn't. So he would have been, of course, eligible for World War I. But I don't know the reason why. Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, something. But somehow it was instilled with them that it was a patriotic thing to do to serve your country.
And do you mind talking about yours service a little bit?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So were you drafted?
I was drafted
Okay.
in 1970. I'd finished 2 years at college at Bowling Green, and that's when they had the lottery. And we were sitting there, and I got a pretty good number, number 164. At that time, the war was, kind of, you had already gone through the Tet Offensive and things were winding down, and so I had to drop out of school. Money was running low, and I got my draft notice. First thing I went to a dad, I said, I want to get drafted. He said, there's still a lot going on. You might want to think about joining and enlisting. And I didn't realize at that time that if you got drafted, you could take your draft notice to one of the other recruiters. So I took it to the Air Force recruiter.
Right.
And he said, yeah, we'll give you a test if you pass it. He said, we'll just go ahead and tear this draft notice up, and we'll accept you into the United States Air Force. So that's what happened.
I just learned that you could, from somebody else, that somebody else did the same thing, that you could do that. I thought once you were drafted, you were done. I mean,
that's what I thought. I mean, I was shaking in my boots because at that time, we had lost those guys from Heath and other people I'd read about. I was keeping up on the news, and I mean, even though it wasn't as hectic as it was in the beginning stages, there was still a lot going on. Still war, and and I wasn't a dove or anything. I wasn't really a hawk. I guess it was somewhere in between. The two political parties there, or the two different sides of the war. But I actually was involved in some peace marches at college. Kent State happened in spring of '70, and at Bowling Green, our student leadership took over and said, we're not going to do that. We're going to have a peaceful march. So we all walked around campus with our little candles and actually had like a prayer vigil, just praying that the war would end. And then I didn't want to go over there, but the Air Force, was a lot safer, and I stayed stateside the whole time.
Did you think about, did it ever cross your mind to go to Canada?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Probably because of this right here.
Yeah. I just wondered.
Yeah.
So where were you stateside?
I was. Everybody in the Air Force goes to San Antonio, Texas, for training. Then I went up for advanced training to Wichita Falls, Texas, and then my first and only permanent duty station was. You got to watch yourself on this one, Doug. It was Myrtle Beach Air Force Base.
Wow, that was hard. Wasn't it?
That was hard there. And I was assigned to a Tactical Air Command, and we had the A-7s, and we provided ground support for the war. I mean, I wasn't a pilot or a navigator.
Right.
I just was ground support and just put my 3 or 4 years in. Then in 1973, they came with a program called Palace Chase. And you remember, most of our guys came home in '73.
Okay.
Of course, the war didn't officially end until May of '75. But they said, you guys who have a year and a half left, if you want to get out, we're going to let you out. But you've got to find a guard unit that will accept you, an Air National Guard unit. And the requirement is you got to put in twice the amount of time you had left. So I asked for some leave, came home, went to Mansfield Air National Guard unit. They said, we have a spot for you. So they accepted me, went back down to Myrtle Beach, and I had a year and a half left active duty, so I had to put 3 years in at Mansfield.
Okay.
And that was just, weekend warrior type stuff, and then a little bit of summer camp. So that worked out good for me. I went on and used the GI Bill to get my college degree, and just went on, got a job here in Newark, and just completely forgot about everything until one of my friends said, how about joining the Heath American Legion? And we've talked about that in the past, and I really enjoyed that out there.
And then, how did you get involved with the Veterans House?
My good friend Ken Blaney, we were in Qantas together and still are, and he was just trying to get some people involved, and he asked me just to come and be a part of it, do some volunteering, and then we formed a board, and that's where it all started 3 years ago.
Right. And you're pretty much, are you point man?
Well, I'm the current president.
Point man.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah, current president of the board. We do have officers, our secretary and treasurer, and so I'm keeping that position. I always feel like I could do more. I mean, I just see everything else that's going on. I mean, including what you do, which we so much admire. We talked about you this morning about everything that you're doing and how you're assisting us, and I just wish we were moving a little bit quicker with the Veterans Memorial.
Well, I think things are going to start coming in alignment. I really do around here. I mean, it just seems like it's a good time. And it seems like people are becoming more aware. I think, and, so I think it's a good time to be trying to get all this stuff together. Like you say, if everybody can just work together.
Yes.
And don't try to. Somebody else doesn't try to open a vet museum, and I mean, we all work together, and I think it'll work better.
But we don't have a lot of people that are really involved, but we have some who are really involved. And one of them is a good friend of yours, is Celeste Friedman.
Yeah.
And we met with Celeste today. We're planning a huge event for the 7th of November.
Oh, really?
Of this year, the Saturday before Veterans Day.
Okay.
And it's going to be like a 5 or 6 hour event down there with, we're going to invite just a lot of different people, have booth space and table space, and have it just really we haven't decided the theme yet, but we're just getting started on it. So
inside?
Inside and outside.
Okay.
Inside and outside.
So did you bring my invite with you?
Well, we talked, actually, Doug, we talked about you being the master of ceremonies that day.
I don't know about
just be down there kind of just helping us with that.
Yeah, I'd like to help. I'd like to be involved, so appreciate that.
That's how that came
That
up,
sounds,
yes.
Yeah, especially since it's before Veterans Day, because we're going to do that thing like we did last year.
Yes.
So. Was there anything else you wanted to tell us about?
I think that's pretty much right there, yeah.